In this lesson, we're going to talk about adding products to a category. Since in the last lesson we just created a category for candy, let's add some product into that category. We'll start by going to the shop menu on the left and choosing products from the menu. This is going to display for us all of the products in our store. And we'll be given the opportunity to add a new product. So here we have all of the products, and you can see that there's actually multiple pages of products here. We can limit what we want to see by category, but since we're just going to add a new product and we don't have any product in the candy category yet, we'll just go up and click on Add New. The Add New Products page is going to be displayed for us, and we can simply recognize that it's similar to many of the other pages that we've seen in WordPress. We're going to enter in the product name. Let's make the first product be gourmet jelly beans. So we simply enter that as the name, and then we give it a description, and the description can be as long as we want it to be. We can also give it a short summary, and the summary is typically only about 2 lines of information, maybe 1 sentence. Scroll down, we can see that we can add in some product details. Now this might be very important if we're selling something like a book. Maybe it's even important for selling jelly beans if people are concerned about calorie counts or whatever. So you might put in here ingredients, for example. And then what are the ingredients in this particular case? We've got sugar, and corn syrup, flavoring, and so forth. And then you can add another product detail, such as calories. And it has 0 calories, of course. And then you put in a product image. In this case here, we're looking for our jelly bean photo. So we'll take the jelly beans close up, and you'll notice as I roll over this, it says that the dimensions of this are 2288 by 1712. This is a very large image, as if we had just taken it right out of our digital camera. We'll go ahead and click on Open, and like other places in WordPress, the software actually crunches the photo down into a size that is manageable to be displayed by the user. So you don't need to worry about resizing your images or creating both a full-size image and a thumbnail image and so forth with the WordPress Shop plugin. You can just simply load the photo up there. Now, unlike categories, you can add multiple images per product. So let's go ahead and add another image here of the jelly beans. And we'll just choose the jelly bean photo here, which is actually where it's been packaged up. And it crunches that photo down and adds it into the list. And let's add one more. So you can see that you can add multiple images here. Pricing. How much does this thing cost? Well, we saw in the previous lesson about categories that we may want to put in variations. So we can come up here and we can click on variations. But because we had already defined those variations at the category level, if we simply come over here and choose that we're going to put this into the candy category, then it knows by default that everything in the candy category comes in 1, 2, 3 pound bags and a 5 pound box. So as we slide down here, those variations have already been set for us because those are variations by category. Now I can in fact override that for an individual product. So let's say the jelly beans are a little bit less expensive than some of the other items in the category. So maybe this is $8.99. And this is going to be $15.99, and this is going to be $24.99, and perhaps this is $32.99. So you can see that we can actually override those prices for an individual product, even though the sizes of a 1 pound, 2 pound, 3 pound, 5 pound are consistent. Now we may also want to add a different option to this particular product. So we can add a new option in here also, and that option might be flavor. And we can let someone choose individual flavors. So maybe the first one is mixed, which is the most common. But then we might say, okay, well, you can get all licorice. And we can add another option, and you can get all tangerine. And another option, and get all lime, and so forth. Now, when you do that, you'll notice that a 1 pound bag of licorice is defined down here, now a 1 pound bag of tangerine, and so forth. So if that's the case, we would actually need to add in the price for each variation that could occur in here. Oops, this was supposed to be $15.99. $15.99, not 15,000. And so on and so forth here. Now obviously you don't have to have all of these variations and all these prices, but it does give you a lot of flexibility here to do this. So we now have all of our prices defined for the 2 different types of variation options that we have in here. We've set the category that we want. If we want to make this a featured product, we can. Let's not do that just yet. Go ahead and publish this and save the product. Because this product was put into the category that we had previously defined of candies, if we now come back over to the website and take a look at the shop, we will now see that the category that we had previously defined for candies now shows up in our list. When we click on that category, we should see the product. If we don't see the product for some reason, that means we need to go back and edit the product because we were missing a piece of information. Let's jump back here. Let's click on gourmet jelly beans. To edit that product. And make sure that we have everything turned on here that we want. And one of the things that we'll go ahead and do now is we'll go ahead and make this be a featured product. And I'll show you what happens when something becomes a featured product. We may want to give it a slightly longer description here as well. And of course, with the description here, you have full access to the built-in editor. So if you actually want to come in here and within this description, add in an image or bold a particular piece of text, put a link out to another product. For example, you might be selling another type of candy that is very commonly sold with jelly beans, and so you might do the little trick of people that looked at this product also looked at this product, and then go ahead and put a link back to your other product, and you can do that through the item description. Let's save that product. And once the product is saved, we'll come back to our shop. It displays for us all of the various categories that we have in our shop, including the candy. We'll select on the candy category. And the only product that we currently have in there is the gourmet jelly beans. Go ahead and pick on that. You'll notice it says from $8.99 rather than giving a specific price, and that's because of all the variations that we have built into this. If it was a fixed price for a product, then it would simply show that price. We had added 3 different photos of the jelly beans. And as we roll over and click on the various photos, we can see a new photo appearing. whichever photo is currently shown up here, someone can click on that and see a larger image of that particular photo. And they can go from one photo to the next as well. Or you can simply close that window. You can see here the various options. So let's say, okay, we want to get a 2-pound bag and we want it to be mixed. And then it tells us what our price is. Here's our description. Here's the short description and any of the details that we had put in here. So that's how you add a product. Let's now talk about the fact that we made this a featured product. If we go back to our home page, one of the things that we had put in here was that this was going to be a featured product. And by default, the way we have designed our home page is we're actually showing featured products. And so you can see down here that gourmet jelly beans now appears as a product on our home page because these are the featured products. If we choose over here on the right-hand side, we can also see featured products. So that's where the featured product thing comes in. Over here on the menu bar on the sidebar, we also have a product in here. This is not the same as a featured product. These are the featured products here that are appearing here as well as under featured products here. This is a special way to call out a product. And the way that that is done is through the widgets, which we will talk about more in another lesson. But for now, let's go to Appearance Widgets and take a look at where that particular product is coming from. So we go to our menu under Appearance and choose Widgets. And for this particular store, if we go to the primary widget area, which is where that is happening, we can see that there are several different shop widgets that we have built in here, one of which is the shop product. And what we have done here is we've simply said that we want to call out a specific product by product ID. Now what we could do is, rather than utilizing an individual product, perhaps we want to go to a category. And then we can specify a category ID. So let's jump back over here to our store and let's go to the shop. And rather than just calling out caramel with pecans as a product that we want to sell, let's say we want to highlight any number of products within the candied popcorn category. Well, this category happens to be category number 1. So over here in our widgets, we can now say that we want anything in category number 1. And we're going to just show one of them at a time, and they can be from best-selling or highest or what priced or whatever. But we could just say random, in fact. One random product from category 1 and hit save. That now allows this area here to change regardless of which page we're on. So if we come back to our home page now, the featured products at the bottom of the home page are still the featured products that we had called out. But the item in the sidebar will now be a random product from the candied popcorn category.